We are going to look at how you insert a table into a Word document. The first thing you're going to need is a document. You're going to need, you click insert and you will find tables. On tables, there's a couple of things you can do. If you look here, it says insert table. You can map out your table. If you notice, it says right now 4 times 1. That means I'm creating a table with 4 columns in 1 row. If I go down, I add more rows. So the biggest I can do here is a 10 by 8 table. That means I've got 10 columns and 8 rows. I can also click insert table here, and I can tell it as many rows as I want and as many columns as I want. I can create a 25 by 25. Okay, that would create a 25 by 25. I can also go in and draw a table. You would draw it and then you would put in your lines, however many you want. You can draw going across and it'll add them. Okay. We're going to start with a simple table. The easiest way to do a simple table is just to go in here, and we're going to do a table based on grades. So you take 8 classes, so we're going to have 8 rows. Now we're leaving this first area blank, so we're going to do 6th. Okay, so I filled in what I want. I want something for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I know I have math, science, history, language arts, and we'll pretend I've had Spanish, PE, and 1 elective. But look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have a problem here already, because we put the table in, but we have 8 periods a day and we only have 7 subjects. Table tools come up here. There's layout and there's design. We're going to first look at the layout tab, but first I want you to know, to get between tabs, if you're going across, to get between cells, and each one of these boxes is called a cell, you can tab if you're going across. Okay, tabbing will bring you through each box in order. Now if you want to go backwards, you can hold the shift key down and it moves you backwards. So to move forward, it's easy to tab through. If you want to go back a box, you hold the shift key down and you may go backwards. Okay. Remember, where I've written the subjects, math is a row, science is a row, history is a row, 6th, 7th, 8th are columns. Now just to review. Now I put an extra space in between tables. You don't want to put 2 tables right next to each other because they will accidentally join. Let's add some information in here. So okay, now I filled it in. I put numbers in here. If you remember, a 4 equals an A, a 3 equals a B, a 2 equals a C, a 1 equals a D, and a 0 equals an F. We're looking at final grades for each of these subjects. We're going to eventually figure out what your GPA would be. Table's okay, but you might want to make it so that it looks a little prettier, a little easier to read. We have table styles. There are a whole bunch of different table styles you can use depending on what you want and how you want it to look. Okay. Some of them just make it easier to read going across. Some of them, they're different colors. You can modify table styles, which is no reason to get into that now. You can add shading. So you could shade in certain boxes if you wanted. So let's pick a basic style. Now if you notice, the lines are now dotted. That means that we can see them on here, but they will not print lines. Anytime on a table you see dotted lines, it means it's not going to print. This solid line here and this solid line there will print. So notice when I do the print preview, none of those other lines appear on the preview. This is the way it would look when it prints. But when we look at it, it's got dotted lines to show us where the cells are. You have different styles. You can click here, you can clear the styles, you can do a different style, table style, your choice. These are your borders. If you wanted to add borders when you had none, you can go into borders and shading, and you can add them. You've done this before with shading paragraphs. This would be doing cells. Now you can apply it to the table, you can apply it to a cell, or you can apply it to a paragraph. You would change the colors in there as well if you wanted to change it for the whole table. Borders and shadings are here. You can also change border widths here. If I go there and I click, it gives me a little pen and I can widen the borders there. So here are some of your options. I'm going to get out of this. Get rid of the pen. You don't want to use border painter. Notice how when I did this, it highlighted, gave me a paintbrush, then I could add the borders I wanted. When I take it away, it's unhighlighted, and then we can see the rest of the tabs. Here, this tells me I have a header row. Header row just means the very top of your graph is used to label the data. The first column is this. It's also telling you it's a label. Last column would be if you wanted to add something like averages. Banded columns just mean that you're going to have color going through. A total row means your last row would be used for totals. Now we're going into layout. If you look here, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 subjects. You actually have 8 subjects. So I want to insert a row below. I can click here, and then I can do tab over electives, hopefully you've done well with.